Got another question to ask you, Isabella. This is a good one. Because I'm not on the college campus anymore, obviously. I could go, but I don't want to. Got all the education. What do you think the balance is? Because we know it's not 50-50 between conservatives and liberals. What do you think the balance is basically on a campus?
I think, I mean, people-wise, it probably is closer to 50-50 than you'd want to believe. Like,
Right. Or led to believe.
Think. Yeah. But, it really seems more like 90-10, maybe, less than that at this point. But, I mean, anyone who thinks outside the, main liberal agenda block, they don't talk. Unless they're in that Turning Point USA group where they can talk and, they're not getting screamed at most of the time, I'd imagine. But,
right.
They have their own time to meet and, it's just them.
Mm-hmm.
So that's the only time I think they can, actually speak their mind and, feel comfortable. But I really do think it's closer to 50-50 than it looks.
Yeah.
They called the conservatives the silent majority anyways.
Right.
I think there's more out there. And I think there's a lot more females out there because, most females are typically very liberal. But I found a couple people that aren't.
Right.
There's a woman out there.
I worry about this and from the female perspective. I wonder how many females, and you can address this one from the female perspective. There's probably more conservative females out there, but I think they're more likely to get beat down than if it's just a guy. Like if Robert and me, and you saw us, and you go, no, before we even talked to go, I bet you they're conservative. And as much as that might be stereotypical and also correct, okay, it allows me a lot of leadway because I'm not claiming that I'm anything other than I am. Nor is there a level of expectation that I'm anything other than I am. Okay? But I wonder about that with females a lot of times, since the perception is, especially if they're young, they're going to be very, very low.
Yeah. I get called sexist, even though I'm a woman. I'm being sexist towards women just because I'm not liberal. I get that a lot. And I'm like, that's just not right. I still want everybody to have their rights. I don't want to get my own rights taken away. Trust me.
Right.
But yeah, everyone just expects. I mean, especially in high school, the way I dressed, they just were assuming I was very, very liberal.
Right.
And then, throw the curveball, and then the conservatives are like, oh, we don't want her either.
Yeah.
Look like that, so we don't want her. But yeah, I have a group of friends, and they are all female conservatives, and they experience the same things as me. They're called racist. They're called sexist. They don't hold back. They don't discriminate with how they, treat you.
Right.
You get the same name calling, same stuff, just different gender.
Yeah. I think that sometimes people do make that mistake. They'll go, well, I'm a good person. I agree with the most of it. And then they're like, there's 10 things they want you to believe. And you believe 8 of them. Then you get to the 9th one and you don't agree and you're a horrible name. Yep. And I find this with men too. So this is a not gender situation. This is men too. That if they're remotely liberal, and they're remotely, they feel like they're compassionate. They think everybody's going to be on their side right before they put their foot on their throat because you didn't agree with the 9th thing. You didn't agree with the 9th platform. It's like, dude, I've been telling you, it's intolerance. It's not disagreeing with you. Right. I can get into a room full of people who are as conservative as me, and we're not going to agree on everything. I agree with what you said earlier in the show, where you go, I'm not going to find anybody that's, 100% going to be whatever a conservative is that's going to agree with all of it. I think a lot of people, even though this term has kind of took a beating, they're kind of libertarian about things. They're not lining up with everything, but both of the people that fall in this category understand you have to get all 10 agenda items. And if you go off the track for number 9, they're going to eat you alive. Be mature. I think, Robert, you've seen that with just dealing with people where, people who you think would be sensible, just okay for people going to jail for civic violation.
Yeah, right. Yeah, I
Yeah.
run into it. I'm a lawyer in Southwest Michigan, pretty conservative area, but there are several liberals, and I try to talk to them, because like I said, they might have something smart to say if I could talk to them, and because I don't fit. I have one guy who's a good friend of mine actually, and he's quasi-conservative, married to a very liberal woman. Joe and I ate over at their house, and because I hadn't gotten the vax for different reasons, he wanted to shun me, because he's like, you're risking everybody's life because you're not gotten the vax, and I'm like, well, wait a minute now. The vax doesn't prevent you from catching COVID, doesn't prevent you from spreading COVID, So is it even a vax? All right, just saying that part of it. But I had health issues, reasons why I didn't want to take it or whatever. And so a really good friend of mine and his wife is a really good friend of mine too. They were both beating me. Well, he was anyway, beating me up because of my stance on, the vaccine or whatever. And do you have that running your campus too?
Oh yeah. Without a doubt. Yeah, we had to mandate. The New York State school system, said we had to get it. But right. I found out that, I could have just done the COVID testing the entire time.
Right.
I was kind of upset about because they didn't really mention that in the email. They might have, but it's probably small print at the very bottom.
There you go.
But I ended up getting it, and so whatever. I mean, I knew I was eventually going to have to get it one way or another, whether it was work or school. And people, even in the group chat that I have for my school, all of us transfer students from different schools coming to Albany. A lot of them didn't want to get it. And I thought that was interesting. And this is all females, and, they're all relatively liberal compared to me anyway. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And, they didn't want to get the vaccine. And I'm like, oh, that's, surprising. And I even had that at work. There's a couple girls that are like, I don't trust that. And I'm like, you have every right not to trust that. And
what happened to my body, my choice for the abortion side of it? That doesn't cross over. I don't get the logic myself. But.
Literally, it was surprising to see that. But then, one girl had, a police flag with the blue line on her wall. And those same people that were questioning the vaccine decided to, jump all over that. And I was like, oh, but we all just agreed on something here. Why can't we just keep it like that?
The ninth platform.
There we go. There we go.
You can find one.